on, dude. Let me tell you something. We got complaints.
Yeah.
You're back here drinking. We don't allow people out here with bottles and glass back here just drinking anywhere.
Man, it's Vegas, though.
And now you're doing it in front of me.
You want a sip?
No, I don't think
Well,
so.
here, hold on, wait. Let me just,
Now
here.
you're doing it in front of me.
Hang on, let me just, how about if I do this? Now you don't see it, man. See it just like this? I don't even have it. You don't even know I have it. This could be like a statue.
You still have it, sir.
How if I just do that? I mean, nothing. How about that? Is that better, man? Nothing. That's it. I have nothing.
What'd you do?
I don't have anything. And here, do me a favor. I want to make sure that this is the right part, so if you don't mind opening it, and if it's not right, it saves me coming back again. All right, man? Thanks. Appreciate it. Yeah, man. Hey, look, if you just sign this for me right. Okay, don't move. Hold on. Hang on. Come on. Come on, little guy. Don't move. Oh, yeah. Here, you know what? Come here. Seriously, you know what? I'm so tired of this. Come here. You know what? Stand right there. Seriously. No, stay right there. Seriously. You know, I'm so tired of you just yelling and bitching at me every single time. Honestly, I'm so tired of it. Ugh. Is this your blanket? Yeah. Can I use this for a second? Yeah. Here, do me a favor. What's your name? Dustin. Dustin, here. Dustin, I'm going to hold this up just like this. So here's what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to cover your card up just like this, okay? Yeah. I know it's Thanksgiving, so I'm going to lift this up here. And this is right here for you. And this is a little something for you for Thanksgiving, buddy. Thanks for your service. All right. Thanks for everything. You have a good day, all right? Have a good day, all right, man? Thank you. Love you. Here. Check out the sign. And go. Check it out. Ah!
Yeah, you can, and I'll write you a ticket for jaywalking.
You wouldn't do that, would you?
Oh, yeah, I would.
Why, just right, there's nobody
I'm
here.
telling you, no crossing the street. Go to the car.
All right, sir, thank you so much for your help. I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
Thanks again, all right? Have a great day, all right? Give me a ticket.
Guys, welcome to Live with Kyle and Alex. Today, it's gonna be a very special show.
Yeah.
Alex, how's it going today?
Hey, it's doing really good today, man. Life is great. And God, can you believe, was that Tuesday where we did the buddy watch walkers?
Yesterday. Yesterday we were filming with the Buddy Watch Walkers, a group of guys from the Army and the Navy and all that, walking from Georgia to Santa Monica, California by foot.
Yeah, they are actually walking from the Tybee Island Pier and to the Los Angeles to Santa Monica Pier in Los Angeles. And they've taken them since October to walk across the country. And they're supposed to be in Los Angeles, I think, next month or something. That's amazing. I mean, we actually filmed these guys. We're gonna do a special show on Wednesday. We're gonna
on Wednesday we'll be live.
Yeah, we got to do a special show for these guys because these guys are really amazing, walking across the country to call attention to causes, abuse of children or whatever the causes are. And they're all Army guys, and there are people joining them along the road. And these guys really deserve a really great audience and because they're doing such great things. So
absolutely,
it's the Buddy Watch Walkers. Period. Love it. But anyway, so we got to do that Wednesday. So Kyle, I'm excited about that.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too.
So, absolutely.
So today, we got a very special guest today. We have all the way from Las Vegas. Actually, before we do that, you guys can text questions to 520-329-2567. We'll get them answered, as well as any platform you're watching on: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Periscope. But anyways, direct from Las Vegas, from the Tropicana place of the Laugh Factory, as well as the Fantasy at the Elixir, please welcome Mr. Murray Sawchuck. What's going on, Murray?
What's up, guys? How you doing? You all right?
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm all right now. You're here.
I am here. I just beamed in. Thanks for having me, guys.
You've done your magic on us already, man.
That's how I roll, people. That's how I do it.
Yes, we love it.
So how you guys doing? Good? Staying safe?
Staying safe.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So, Murray, how'd you get your first star in Magic?
I wanted to look at anything to avoid education. That's kind of how that happened. No, I was, in Magic, I started when I was like 7 years old, a Magic kid, like most people do. And then I put it away for a while. I also danced. I played music. I love being in front of people. I like the attention indirectly, even though I was pretty shy. And then what really clicked in around 10, 11, I got a Magic kit from my parents, from a Siegfried and Roy Magic kit. And then my 12th to 13th birthday, I got another Magic kit from my aunt and uncle up in Canada, where I'm from, Vancouver and Burnaby. And that one stuck. And I started learning Magic, started incorporating doing kids' birthday parties and corporate shows. And I graduated and kept doing Magic. And now I'm in Las Vegas, and I'm 110 years old. So I'm pretty excited about that.
You look good, buddy.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It's that keel.
Yeah, I want to get there, man. I want to be like you when I grow up. If I ever grow up. Yeah, so, hey, I understand your dad was a magician.
Not at all. He never did
wasn't?
magic in his life. He was
Okay.
actually from the railway.
Oh,
Oh,
I gotta send you my website. No, he never dabbled in magic at all. He was a railroader, like all my whole family was. That's the reason I managed to train
Oh,
on
that's
America's
right.
Got
I
Talent.
remember that now. Yeah.
Yeah, and he played music in that growing up in baseball, but he stuck with the railway for 37 years and retired. And he also worked with the Canucks, Vancouver Canucks. And before they were the Canucks, they were
Oh,
called the Blazers. So I always had hockey in my life as well. But I decided to be the black sheep and take a job with no security. So here we are with
oh,
COVID-19. So I'm loving it.
oh, man.
here we
Yeah,
go with COVID-19.
absolutely, man. You know, so
So how's Vegas right now? Is it slowly? Is it moving?
It is dead. Who are we kidding? No, it is. I mean, 42 million people a year come here, and we have 4. So we're pretty excited. We think it's going to go up to 6 next week, and maybe 10 the week later. But I just heard from Sizzle today. I guess some casinos are going to start opening June 4th, and that's a good thing. Which ones? They've listed a few that are going to open, but I think it's a moving target. You know what I mean? If we have an increase of people, then we'll open more casinos. I think. You know what I mean? Like supply and demand. We're going back to that formula, and health. And if no one's getting sick or dying, and the numbers go up, then we've got a winner. You know what I mean? So it's all and watching the news, and everyone has an opinion, but not everyone knows facts. You know what I mean? Like even in the hospitals, I know a lot of nurses and doctors, and they're empty. They're laying off people and cutting people away from the hospitals because there's nobody going, because they're not accepting anybody that doesn't have COVID, or they're in there for something.
really,
So it's an interesting situation to be in. But hopefully in about 6 months we'll level out, and then in 10 years from now we'll all go back and we'll have a beer on the fire, going, "Man, do you remember 2020? What a hell of a year!"
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
what do you think will happen to live entertainment? Do you think you'll ever come back, or
Of
do you
course,
think?
I think it's going to be stronger than ever. I mean, we were in Oklahoma last week. We took a trip out there. My girlfriend and I, Danny, who's the host of Crazy Girls here in Vegas, over at Planet Hollywood, and we were not working. So we thought, well, let's go for a ride. And Oklahoma's open. We went there, went to a piano bar, and we went to a couple of clubs. And yeah, social distancing's in order. People are wearing masks, but they're wearing them off their ears, off their head. It's like a yarmulke on the back. I mean, they're not, So they got them. It's a lovely gesture. It's kind of like a gate in an HOA community. People think, oh, I can't break in. You just follow the other car in, you break in. So it's one of those things where people are trying to follow it, but Oklahoma is open, and I'd expect that in the Midwest. They do what they do. You know what I mean? They fall off horses and break their bones weekly. So this COVID thing, I think, is a minor, insurance on what they're doing.
Wow. Well, I gotta ask, what do you prefer? Do you prefer illusionist or do you prefer magician?
The illusionists are basically big tricks, creating an illusion. I create an illusion that I'm going to make a car appear on stage. That's an illusion. That means you can't see where I'm hiding the car, because I'm hiding the car. I'm not Harry Potter. I'm hiding the car. You just can't see where I'm hiding the car. You know what I mean? So that's an illusion, because I can't do it. Maybe I've had a cape, but I have no cape. So, but magic is something maybe a little bit smaller, like cards and coins and things like that you actually do with sleight of hand and stuff like that. So that's kind of the difference. I'm a comedy magician. So basically 80% of my show is crap, and then 20% I do a few magic tricks. That's kind of what it is. So that's what I'm doing. But I get by. I pay the mortgage, So.
You get by well. We love it. We love
All
it.
right. Paying the bills.
So what is the Dennis the Menace of magician? How did you get that?
Pretty much exactly what I said. 80% comedy, 20% magician. I mean, if anyone knows about Dennis the Menace, everything went south for him, and there was trials and tribulations. At the end of the comic, he'd always win and coming out smelling like roses. And that's the way my performance always happens. Everything is a haphazard of errors and trials and tribulations and comedy. And it looks like it's going sideways. And at the very end, I actually do fool you. And I've always been that way. Because look at me. When you look like a Q-tip, I mean, seriously, you can't be taken seriously. I mean, do you see me doing Dateline? I don't think so.
Q-tip, I love it.
So you're on America's Got Talent, and you did basically the biggest thing on that stage is that trained it. Has people basically followed you from there on, or have they kind of just slowed down? And Like
Yeah,
saw
I
you
think
on
that was a good kickoff to it all. Before that, I did a couple of reality shows. I did Blind Date. I did a show called Reno 911 on Comedy Central as a guest star and a few things. But that show, when I walked on that stage, it was the 5th season they had America's Got Talent. So it's pretty new. You weren't allowed to use Twitter or Facebook. I don't even know, Instagram might have been just starting then. And you weren't allowed to use any of that because they thought that would be a disadvantage to who wins and who loses. Now, if you don't have an Instagram or Twitter, they make one up for you when you're on the show because they realize it's free advertising, free PR. So the game's changed a lot. But at that season, we were told by the executive producer, Jason Raff, that our semifinals, when we were walking on stage, we had 22 million people live watching us on TV in America, which is the largest it's ever been. Now it's down to about 8.5 million, something like that, maybe a little lower.
It's crazy.
So when you have that exposure, it helps a lot. It really does push you out there, and it's a nice kickoff. And from there, I went from back to having my own show on the Las Vegas Strip and touring and more stuff, and then of course my YouTube channel and a bunch of other things, and Pawn Stars as well. You know, been good to me.
Yeah. Oh, you did Pawn Stars. That's right. I forgot.
Yeah, I've been on there for 12 seasons now. So.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you love it when they just run like that? Did you just? Yes,
It's a great
I love
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. I've seen a couple of your magic pranks. They look, they're kind of nice. I love it.
Yeah, well, we like the viewership from them. You know, everyone likes to see a car crash. So, you know, you do a nice trick where you produce a puppy or whatever the case is, you get 2 views. But you have a car crash, you make fun of a cop, police officer, security guard, and you get like, 100 million. So we thought, well, let's go with a car crash.
So 100 million subscribers, huh?
No, views.
Views.
So I have 1.7 million subscribers on YouTube, but the views are over 1 billion.
I love it. Yeah. Yes, indeed.
I'm very lucky, but it's work. It's a job. What we upload. It isn't haphazard. It isn't unconscious. We're very conscious of everything we upload and how it's uploaded and when it's uploaded and everything. So it's a job. It's been a job for 5 years with my partner. My producing partner, Seth Leach, who edits and uploads and does all that stuff. I'm the on-camera guy and he's the behind the scenes. And we've been that way for like 5 years. I always say it's kind of like Elton John and Bernie. One writes the songs and one writes the music, and they've been doing it for, 40, 50 years. So same thing. So I don't question him. He doesn't question me. So.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Do you have a favorite prank that you've done so far?
I don't know. I think my most favorite prank was the one that we launched all this stuff on years ago, is where I was drinking in public with a bottle of champagne, and a cop caught me. And I made it disappear, and then as I walked away, I made it appear again and continued to drink it. So that's an old trick. It's been around for years. The trick is invented by a man named Norm Nielsen, and it's just a great trick. And we've done it on stage lots, but because we brought it into the normal world of life, we kind of gave it a rebirth, and it kind of really took off. So it's probably one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
How'd you get started on YouTube?
I was performing and touring at a few casinos, and this guy direct messaged me and said, "Hey, your stuff's amazing. It should be going viral, but it's not because you're uploading old content. I can work with you and make your stuff go viral." So I met Seth Leach. Didn't know him at the time, and he came to Vegas, shot 4 videos. We made a deal. It was a 50-50 partnership, and then after the first video, by the afternoon of that day, did like 5 million views, and I said, "That's it. We got a deal. We're doing it."
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yes. That's definitely deal making time there, buddy.
Yep. Yeah. So we're very fortunate,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then how'd you meet Lefty, your sidekick in hand?
We met Lefty in a gay bar in Philly. No, we didn't. Just if you guys are listening. Just making sure you guys are listening. I met Lefty. We're both magicians, and I got on a gig in Somerset, New Jersey, at a Ukrainian cultural center, which is ironic because I'm actually half Ukrainian. And it was a magic show, a variety show, 7 acts. I opened, and his act closed. He had a act with a partner named Seth Udoff, great magician, and he's now an agent in town here in Vegas now. And they had an act, and so we hit it off. We had very similar values, similar upbringing, and stuff like that. And we just became best friends. And we've been best friends for about 20 years now. And then now he's also a guest act on my show for the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. I also want to say I did see one of your pranks about the handicapped parking spaces, and I think that's very nice. I really like that.
Yeah, well, we see all the time. We pull into the shopping centers, you'll park like idiots, you know.
Yeah.
And every which way, I thought, well, and it's a great thing to get a positive message back in a good
Right.
way, and also share something that gets a lot of views. So we
Yeah.
started doing those as well, you know. So anything to be a pain in the ass to people, you know. It's not my nature. Naturally, it's not, but on YouTube it is.
Yeah.
um, how'd the whole Vegas thing get started? How'd you get to Vegas?
I took a plane.
All right.
No, I didn't. No, I came to Vegas. I love playing with you guys. It's so funny.
Yeah, I love
No,
it.
I actually
It
wanted
makes
to be
you
in
think.
Vegas because I read some newspaper that Vegas was popping, you know, and so I thought, well, that's where magicians go to die. So I thought, what the hell? So I said, let's do this. So I was in Orlando at the time. I started pitching ideas to producers and directors and all that. Came to Vegas, and I had my first show January 26, 2002 at the Frontier. I had a producer and all that, and I just mailed stuff out. I direct mailed 500 different people. I said, I want a show in Vegas. I'm willing to work hard. Can you give me some money and time and help, and I'll give a percentage back and all that stuff. I'm a hustler, you know. People, what they don't realize in life, we live in the land of opportunity. America is unbelievable. I'm Canadian, so I can say this. You know, I naturalized here. I'm American and I'm Canadian.
Mm.
And people say, "Oh my God," and we do live in the land of opportunity. One thing that I realized with COVID, I think it's made a lot of people appreciate what we really have in this country, because we, I think, took it for granted. You know, and people always say, "Oh, you can have anything you want as long as you dream it." Bullshit. You got to get off your ass. And you got to
Yeah.
work 24/7 and have a dream. Dream's lovely, but once you wake up out of that goddamn dream, you got to work 24 hours, 7 days a week. And you might be lucky to actually make some traction, but it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of patience. It takes a lot of no's. It takes a lot of failure, you know, and then you will actually succeed. You know, it's not like a 90-minute movie we see at the box office, you know, because it was 90 minutes. It should be a lot easier, wouldn't it? You know, so I've always told people that, you know, I've never stopped hustling since the age of 12. You know, I've always had a job since the age of 12, you know, so it's part of the game, you know.
So how how does people get a show in Vegas? Do they go to the hotels and basically pay them to basically build a theater for them, and or
No, you got to be good. You got to have a resume. You have to show some track record of your success. Can you sell a ticket? Who's going to come to sell and be there and sell the 500 seats, you know, and make money? And if you can't sell a ticket, then you can't be in Vegas. You know, you can buy and rent a room all you want and blow your money, but you can have a great show. If no one's going to purchase a ticket and come through those doors, it really doesn't matter. You know what I mean? So you need a hotel behind you, you need people behind you need producers behind you, and it takes a team. It really does. For you to walk on that stage, there's probably 37 people behind you that no one ever sees. You know, to make it, ticket brokers, agents, managers, room operators, vendors, all that stuff. So it's not easy. You know, it's kind of like if I said to you, well, I want to open up a bank. And you go, great, I'd like to go to Wall Street. Well, you know what? I'd rather go in the middle of Iowa where there's no bank and open up a bank. It'd be a lot easier. You know what I mean? Wall Street is not the first place to come, but everyone wants Vegas, and that's great. But it's a lot of work. It's a lot of time, a lot of patience, you know. And when you come to Vegas, you're playing the busiest street in the world for shows next to Broadway, you know.
do you still play keyboard and saxophone?
I don't. You know, it's funny you brought that up because I miss it. I like saxophone and I gave it up. Keyboard, I like. I played accordion as well for like 11 years, and then then I wanted a girlfriend, so I quit. So, so I did. I quit that. Yeah, honest to God, I was like, wow, we're in trouble. So I got into magic, which isn't much better, but what the hell. So anyways, yeah, but I've thought about taking up saxophone again because I played for, I'd say 11 years. I can read music fine, but you know, when in school, I never had a band, like a garage band. I just did what in school taught me. So I always played classical music and all this other stuff because that's what you learn when you learn an instrument. And I found it extremely boring. You know, I wanted to play Dave Koz or Sandy Dolfer, these saxophone players that are quite famous. You know, and cool bands. You know, I loved Earth, Wind and Fire and Tower Power and all those bands that had some great brass sections. You know, thanks to Bruno Mars, he's bringing it back, and a few other people.
Wow.
But I never found a way to get that route. So I stopped it. I was bored with it. I thought it was really boring. But now I know I can play, but it would take a year and a half to get back to actually being comfortable, and then another probably couple of years to really be good to jump into a band. But I'm at an age now where I'm comfortable with my career and where I'm going and what I'm doing, and I might just take that up and kind of learn on my own, and give it a shot again. Because I really like saxophone. I played alto sax, but I think I'd want to play probably tenor or something like that. So,
Wow.
yeah.
I see not only music and magic, I looked up your IMDb and I went, oh my God, he's jumping into my business acting
Yep.
here. You have quite a IMDb credits there. I
Yeah.
went, wow, all around man.
Yeah, well, I want to be, I look at people's careers like Steve Martin and Martin Short and Dolly Parton and all sorts of people where they're not just a singer, not just a magician, not just a comedian, they're an entertainer. And I think that's the key. You want to be an entertainer. To me, that's the key. You walk on that stage and you make people have a great time, take them out of the world for an hour or whatever, and get back on track. And I think that's the key. You know what I mean? If you're a violin player and you can be funny, then do both. Don't reserve yourself. If you're not good at it, then stop. But if you are entertaining and you are funny, then go for it. Exercise that. You know what I mean?
Well, you're definitely doing it all, man. My hat's off to you and my hair is off to you too.
Thank you. But your hair's a lot easier to do than mine, let me tell you. Looks like I have a chihuahua on my head, let's be honest.
Chihuahua.
So when you were a kid, you worked 21 jobs, really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's a
20
lot of
I loved
jobs.
money. I loved working. And I wanted to afford things. I wanted to buy my car when I was 16. I wanted magic props. I wanted to travel the world. And I realized it's not going to happen if I don't work. I wasn't going to rely on my parents, even though they were super supportive of everything I did. And so I started working at the age of 12 at a bakery. I made Scottish meat pie shells, little shells, after school. And I get 25 cents a tray of shells I made. I think there's 24 shells in the tray. This is a machine. You put a piece of dough in, you pull a handle, and it makes a shell, and you take it out and you put it on a tray, and it dries out till the next morning. And then when the chefs come in, or the bakers, they fill it up and they put it on the trays in the oven. And so I do that. And then from there, I had 2 or 3 paper routes. And I worked at a fish and chips restaurant, cooking fish and chips. And I worked for Globe and Mail as a telemarketer. I pumped gas, fixed bikes. I was a dishwasher. I did it all. And so I have a lot of people that come to me now and say, you don't know what it's like, working for tips and being a waiter and that. And one thing, I was never a waiter. The only time I was a waiter, which is about a year and a half ago, which is hilarious, I played a waiter and a waiter and like a room steward on the show Glow on Netflix. And it was the funniest thing because I had to put plates down the way you do as a waiter, and I had to put glasses down. And when you do takes and retakes, you do about 20 takes because you got to get camera angles. I never remembered where the plates went. Well, for each take, you got to remember where you put the watermelon and where you put the grapefruit and the cereal, because each take has to match. Well, I never was a waiter, so I never paid attention. I just put stuff down off the tray where I should. So I learned a lot quickly, and I just laughed that the first time I actually played a waiter was on TV. And when usually in Hollywood you play a waiter for 15 years before you get to play a waiter on TV, so it's very funny. So
yeah, that's the way. Yeah,
I found that very ironic, but yeah. So I've done everything, and I have a lot of people say you don't know what it's like trying to do all these jobs to survive. I said, well, I started when I was 12. I've done probably almost every job that that probably wouldn't want to do, but I did because I like money. I wanted to work,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, go ahead, Alex.
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle. Yeah.
What is Ukrainian dancing?
Ukrainian dancing is, well, I'm Ukrainian, so Ukraine, the country, right? And then they have a cultural style of dancing, kind of like the Greeks have their Greek dancing. And in India, they have their style of dance. Well, Ukraine, they have their style of dance with the big baggy red pants and a white shirt that has a pattern down the front of it. And they do high kicks and all this other stuff. And that's what it is. And then you train ballet for an hour and a half. And if anyone knows, the Russian ballet is probably one of the strongest ballets out there. And I never danced ballet. I trained it, and then I danced Ukrainian dancing, which is my heritage. Hence why I played the accordion, and hence why I quit at 16 because I would want to meet a girl. Because it's not, you don't look at those and go, wow, that's what you got to do. That's how I'm going to get my next date. I'm going to do some Ukrainian dancing and really get them excited.
That's hilarious.
Okay. What is the Tiger King? Yeah, I understand you did documentary or something. Tiger King documentary.
Have you seen The Tiger King?
No, I haven't.
You are the only one in the entire world that has not seen The Tiger King.
Yeah, I haven't either.
Well, you guys have to watch that and then ask me the question again because you'll appreciate it. Everybody in the world has watched that show. It's probably the biggest international world phenomenon since the OJ case.
Oh,
Really?
And
really?
yes. There's memes, every talk show host in the world. We're not talking here. We're talking Sweden, Finland, Germany.
Wow.
Everyone has watched it. I think it's the #1 documentary in the entire world. And I'm
And
not
I
making that
think-
up. You can
God.
Google it.
And I think I'm asking the question to educate people. I'm asking the question to educate me.
Yes. So
Yeah.
Alex, watch the damn thing.
Yeah,
Get educated, and then
You
ask me the
better
right
believe
question.
it.
That's how we do that.
I love it. Yes, sir.
So it was good. We had a good time out there. But it's a very famous show. It's ridiculous. It's life imitating art, art imitating life, and it's a goddamn train crash, is what it is. And you'll love every minute of it. It's 6 episodes, I believe, and they're going into season 2, and it's all real, and it's edited very well. It's become a very big phenomenon. So check it out. You'll appreciate it, even if just for the Jerry Springer aspect of the show.
Oh,
You'll
I haven't
appreciate
heard
it.
that name in a while. Jerry Springer.
Yeah. Oh no, it makes Jerry Springer look tame. It makes Jerry Springer look like Donahue, if you know what that means. I don't expect you to know, Kyle, what Donahue is, but I do expect Alex to know what Donahue is. Yeah. You know what I'm
You
saying?
are truly an all-around man in the true sense of the phrase. I love it.
Yeah.
So you first began performing in Europe, correct? And your first show was in Brussels, Belgium?
Well, my first show in Europe was in
Oh, in Europe.
I performed since the age of 7, 8 years old, but on stage since the age of 5, dancing. But my first show in Europe, the first place I ever played was in Brussels in Europe. Yeah.
That's quite an adventure.
Yeah, it was great. They got great beer. That's what they're known for, the Belgians, all their beer. So.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think performing outside of your own state or even country it has a different feel to it. Just traveling to another country or something is just nice to be able to perform.
It does.
Really
it's
nice.
cool. It's exciting. They react differently,
Yes.
In Germany, they react different than they react in France. And in Korea, they act differently than they act in Singapore. It's great. We all react differently. We all have our own types of entertainment, and we also have our own things that people react to. What they find funny, what they don't. I mean, in Korea, they find slapstick comedy very funny. Like if I had a squeaky hammer and I hit you on top of your head with a squeaky hammer, that is hilarious. That is killing me. Over here, you'd be like, are you serious right now? But over there, they think it is brilliant. So everyone has their own vibe,
Yeah.
What's your favorite magic or illusion?
Comedy.
Oh, just making people laugh.
Yeah, you can't beat that because you know why? You can't fake it. If it's not funny, they're not laughing.
Yeah.
To clap, you can clap. I can clap for something that's crap. That's easy. I do it a lot. You know what I mean? There's a lot of crap, out there, but I clap because I'm nice. I'm invited, and that's what you do. But when you're funny and you're not funny, nobody fake laughs. They just don't laugh. And so comedy is a beautiful thing because if you really are funny, people will laugh. And if you're not funny, guess what? They're not gonna laugh.
Yeah. And comedy is extremely hard, and the timing has got to be absolutely right.
Yes.
I've been acting for quite a few years, and back in Los Angeles, this friend of mine, Michael Williams, who owned what was the name? It's a comedy club. I can't think of the name of it right now, but everybody was performing there, and I could have gone up and do comedy. Everybody tell me I should do comedy, but it's frightening. It's extremely frightening. You have to do it. The timing has to be right, and so I prefer dramatic acting. So I just stayed with the drama and did not do the comedy acts.
That's smart, man. Yeah. It's safer, but then acting dramatic isn't easy either. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how dramatic I can act, because in my head, I'm like, I gotta say a funny line. I just have to. It's like Jim Carrey trying to act dramatic. He tried a couple times and he didn't fail, but it's just not what we wanted to see him. I think be, because we knew him as his comedic side. Now Tom Hanks, he started in comedy and then he became very dramatic, and now he can do anything. He's very versatile. There's not many actors that are like him.
Yeah, it was the Comedy Act Theater Michael Williams owned. I just remembered it. But,
Okay, nice. Where's that located?
Well, it was in Los Angeles it was on Crenshaw. Now he
Okay.
did one in Atlanta, and I think he has another one in Atlanta now. Also, Michael Williams, the Comedy Act Theater.
Sure.
Really, everybody performed there in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
And moved on to the comedy club up on Sunset Strip.
Sure.
But I prefer drama. I mean, I've always been a drama kind of a guy, so I kind of passed on the comedy. But because I had more fun just joking around and having fun with people normally. But if I had to get paid to do it or force myself to be funny, I couldn't do it.
Sure.
I just couldn't do it. Yeah. So I'm a drama guy, and it's worked. Really.
Yeah, great. Hey, you gotta, whatever your strength is, you go with and then own it. And it's important to know that. A lot of people don't always understand that,
Yeah. So what's next for you? Do you foresee anything coming up next?
Well, I'd like my own TV show. I've been a guest star in so many shows, starring over 100 shows or something. And I think the next thing, and we have a couple pilots in the work, and we have sizzles, and we're pitching all the time.
Ooh.
But we're at that point where, I'd like my own show on TV now, or online, I mean, YouTube, but I'd like my own streaming show. So we're working on that as well. We always have been, but that's the next step, I think, for me, realistically.
Well, let's put it out there, man. All right, folks, you heard him.
Exactly.
Come on, let's contact him.
Exactly.
You know how to get in touch with him.
That's it.
Murray Sawchuck, come on, give him that series.
That's
Maybe
it.
Kyle and I could be on the show. So
Sure,
come on.
why not?
There you go. We're putting it out there for you. Yeah.
Exactly.
And when you hoping to go back on stage?
July 1st. Right now, that's the
July
day we're
1st.
going back, but we'll see. It could change, but right now, July 1st is where we're at.
Okay. All right.
Before we get out of here, do you have any recommendations for us or any YouTube stars out there to get a bigger following and keep going further?
Well, the idea is do what you guys did today. You collaborate with people that have more followers or that are out there, and you collaborate and you share your stories and you share your ideas and your art form. And as you do that, you gain more followers because they realize they're interested in the same thing or similar things that you guys are interested in. And that really is the best. It's kind of like when you have something wrong with your house, do you open up the yellow pages, which is a very old term, or do you Google it or Yelp it now to find a plumber? Or do you call your neighbor and go, hey, who did you use? Well, usually you'll pick that person because if they did a good job, you'll get a good service as well. So it's recommendation, it's word of mouth, and that's kind of really how that works. And also having compelling content is interesting. You know what I mean? That people really will watch and be intrigued by, and not bored by. Nowadays, everybody and their dog has a YouTube channel or a Facebook or a TikTok or whatever. So you really have to look out there and become individual, and original, and figure out what is your thing, So.
And after this whole COVID-19 thing, I'm in my brain right now. I just started promoting shows throughout Tucson and bringing live entertainment through. So I feel like now, it's all going virtually. I feel like it's all going here right now. What we're doing. So.
It is, it is, but that wears thin too, because nothing is like walking out on stage and also walking into an audience, sitting there and seeing someone speak to you directly. That will never go away. That's never changed since vaudeville. You know what I mean? Movies came around and vaudeville kind of vanished, and a lot of the vaudeville theaters turned into movie theaters because vaudeville wasn't as popular. It came back again. You know what I mean? Like live entertainment came back again because we wanted to see somebody in real time, not just on a film, so everything has their arcs and peaks and valleys, everything, clothing trends, jobs, lifestyle, TV. So it's just another trend, and right now everyone's Zooming or everyone's YouTubing or whatever, or live streaming, and that'll vanish, and then we'll go back to live again. It's just a matter of weathering the storm, you know. Just put the sail out and hang on tight.
Yeah, and I don't think anything will ever come back the way it used to be. Everything is gonna change. One thing that I'm trying to figure out how it's going to happen. I know it's gonna change, but how do they film a movie now? I mean, with the pandemic, there's maybe 100 people on the set and extras and love scenes and crowded together in restaurants and everything. I mean, I'm wondering how that's gonna work, and I guess we just gotta wait and see.
What?
But
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I think the answer is we find a vaccine, and then we're back to square one again, just like everything else. You know what I mean? I think that's the key. You know, and if a vaccine's found this year or next year, it seems like forever, but when it's 2030, it won't feel that long. You know what I mean? And it's just
right,
it is. And humans are resilient. We forget. We do forget. We do get scared of things. We do, but then for somehow we forget that we're scared.
yeah,
Away we go again. You know what I mean? So we're very resilient. You know, to going back to the ways we want to live. Because we only get about 80, 90 years if we're lucky in this world. And so we do bounce back, or we forget easily, one or the other, something like that. Or maybe we don't care. I'm not quite sure. You know what I mean? But once a vaccine's found, I think the world will go back to, and also I think we'll be more thankful. You know, us traveling across the states the last week, I never gotten treated at every hotel desk counter better than I've ever treated this last week. It was like 1936. You know what I mean? And I wasn't even around then. But it was, you know, when you walked in somewhere to a barber shop, to a store, everyone greeted you. They were happy to see you. Why?
yes,
Because with you walking in, they were getting paid, the store was running, and they were happy to see you. And I think we need a little shake up to go, hey, let's not take things for granted. Let's not take advantage of people or upcharging everything, no matter what, and really respect the people that are hardworking individuals here in the States and around the world. And it works both ways. I think all of a sudden we kind of overcompensated and took for granted a lot of our actions, you know?
Yeah.
yeah. I think a lot of things we take for granted, but I think this pandemic is making us kind of slapping us in the face about some of these things we've taken for granted all this time.
100%.
Yeah,
100%.
yeah, absolutely. So speaking of pandemic, how are you personally dealing with it? I mean, everybody has their own whatever they're doing, or just
I've done well, you know. I've always kept busy. I'm a workaholic, so I worked on I have a couple old cars in the garage. I worked on them. I did some landscaping. Every day I've done an interview or something. You know, I've done a couple of live shows on my YouTube and my Facebook when it was early in the game. Now everyone's doing them, so I pulled back because I don't want to make it that commonplace, you know, because I'm still a live performer. I've shot a couple of TV shows here and there via being at home, you know. There's a new show that airs every Saturday morning on Travel Channel called Magic Caught on Camera. We licensed 9 or 10 clips to them. And then, of course, every Friday, this evening actually, at 8 o'clock, is Masters of Illusion. We have 18 episodes, and it airs every Friday night on CW. So, you know, and I'm also still filming Pawn Star episodes, and we got plenty coming up as well. So we're busy. I'm going into LA too on when am I going in on Wednesday morning? I'm going to be doing a live performance from the Laugh Factory Hollywood at 2 p.m. Pacific time from Hollywood. No audience, just live. You know, the cameras. It'll be fun. So you know, I'm the type person that you give me lemons and I figure out how to make lemonade. You know, I've never, you know, yeah, you have your days where you're ticked off and you can't stand things, but I've always been very creative to try to make the best of the situation, you know.
There's the all-around man at work again, folks.
Yep. That's it.
Every day's a holiday.
Yeah.
Well, Alex, you got any more questions for Mr. Murray Sawchuck?
Well, I tell you, the all-around man, I could have him all night. He's done so much and still doing it, you know. So I'm okay for now, you know. But hey, really appreciate you, Murray. You know?
Thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate hanging out with you guys.
I think I've seen one live show of you, and that was back in March when, well, Christian was getting his Merlin Award.
That's right.
That was the only show I've seen of you. So I should come back.
Yeah, come back and hang, you guys. You're always a guest of my show when it's open. And
Oh,
thanks for having me on, you guys. I really appreciate it.
man,
Yeah, thank
loved it. Love it. You're the man. I love it.
Thank you very much, Alex. I
Yes, sir.
appreciate that, man.
I really appreciate you, man.
All right, you guys.
Right.
Thank you for having me on.
Thanks.
Thank
Thanks
you.
a lot, man.
Take care, guys. Be good. All right.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Monday night we have Piff the Magic Dragon coming on with his little dog, Mr. Piffles, and then Wednesday we got our walking guys from Georgia
It is
to
actually the Buddy Watch Walkers peer to peer from Atlanta, not Atlanta. Why do I keep saying Atlanta? To the
no,
Tybee Island Pier in Georgia to the Santa Monica Pier in Los Angeles. Walking. I love these guys.
be sure to subscribe, like, and
Who's
comment,
that?
and thanks for watching.